Oi, Steve, what's happening?
Hey bro, how are you?
Yeah, good man. How are you going?
Yeah, good.
Thanks for thanks for coming back.
No, you're welcome, man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like it was a really good conversation we had last time, and like as I said, you brought up a couple of really interesting points that have really sort of stuck with me.
Yeah,
So I thought it would be cool to get you back and probably have just a more like an open conversation. We obviously covered a lot about you last time,
yeah,
and about all your tattooing and stuff, which
yeah,
which is still which is how I sort of got to know you as well,
yeah.
and I actually speaking about that, how's everything going? Are you back in business or
No,
how's that looking?
not yet. The last this pathway that they've put out now, I think gets us back around June 15. I think,
Oh, yep.
obviously pending that there's no spikes or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it's looking. But I guess if we have 2 weeks of zero readings, man, I mean that'll change. But at this
It's
stage, it did 4 weeks. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, it's I must admit, like, the statistics looks pretty good. So it's obviously a bit annoying that they can't lift it a little bit more.
it is, man. It is like it's frustrating when you consider, like, it's what we spoke about last time. It's when you consider, like, hairdressers and everything like that fall under the same category as us. It does get frustrating that we are probably 10 times cleaner than a hairdressing studio, and we see less people, but yet we still can't go back. But I guess too, man, the government doesn't know that. They don't know the ins and outs of our business. So it's probably no fault of their own for not knowing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I spoke to someone, a friend of ours has a beautician clinic, and she said apparently
yeah.
it's because of you penetrate the skin or something, so that your body releases something that's actually more to protect you or something. I think that was one of the reasons why they weren't too keen to open up
Yeah,
for tattooing and
it
stuff.
could be, but it's still, the hairdressers still fall under that category of skin penetration. So
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean if they cut you or whatever while they're cutting your hair, so our classifications are still the same. So, but I mean, obviously we are seeing blood a lot, and hairdressers
Mm.
aren't. So that's probably in the government. Well, you'd hope they're not anyway, but that's the difference, I suppose, in the government's mind. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's their reasoning for it. But it's all good, man. We'll get back.
For sure. For sure. So how's everything going? So you had another 2 weeks of lockdown, climbing on the walls, or what?
Yeah, no, it's good. Kids are back at school, man, so it's good. Um, no, it's been all right, bro. It's just plodding along, man. Custom work. Like doing commissions and stuff for a few different people, and yeah, that's really about it. Just plodding along, man. So you know, just trying to keep busy.
Mm.
Not
Yep. Yep.
fishing. So yeah, that's been about it. But pretty chill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking about fish, like, do you miss your old fish tank business?
Nah, nah,
Not so much. Yeah.
not at all. I mean, I do. I miss the work. I like the work. The work was good. Yeah, that the work was good in summer, like, because it was warm and you were putting your
Mm.
hands in fish tanks, and it was kind of cool. In the middle of winter, when it's 3 degrees and you start work at like 6 o'clock, and you've got your hand dunked in a fish tank, and your jumper gets wet, and you've got to wear that wet jumper for the rest of the day. Not so fun. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I do miss. I miss the work. I don't miss the people. So
Yep.
I think it's kind of like when you go and pick out corals and fish. It's kind of like, for me, it's like a lucky dip. Like, you go there, you don't know what the shop's going to have. You might go there, and that was the exciting bit for me, was like going and picking stuff out, because I didn't have to pay for it. Somebody else paid for it, but I got to pick it. So
Yeah. Right. Right.
that was exciting. That was for me. That was cool. But yeah, I mean, I could give or take on, cleaning tanks, man. Like, so Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't miss it, man. I don't miss it. I'm not losing sleep over it, put it that way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember when we had a chat last time, like you obviously like you brought up sort of the fact that you were doing some really long hours, you were making good money, but it was like it was kind of a drag because you were doing something you didn't really enjoy.
Yeah.
And then you came across tattooing, which
Yep.
brought obviously a lot of joy and a lot of passion into your life.
Yeah.
So what sort of thought process did you have when you sort of started to think about going from transitioning from one to the other? If you could just maybe take us back and just start from when you first went to that fish tank in the tattoo studio and where where it all started really.
Yeah. I think for me it became like I see a lot of people on Facebook now, and like it seems that all they ever talk about is that they've just got this "woe is me" attitude. Like it's like an attitude where they seem hard done by. Like everything just seems so hard and nothing's fair. Everything's against them, and I sort of found myself becoming a little bit that way. Like purely, I think, because of how people treat you more than anything. Like it was you very rarely got told thank you, or you felt really underappreciated by everybody. And look, at the end of the day, like I was just a dude that was cleaning their fish tank, looking after their fish tank for them. But there comes a certain point. I mean, you've got to put yourself in that situation. If I had somebody coming in and out of my house twice a week for 10 years, they would probably become quite a good mate, or someone, not even a mate, someone just to talk to. Like we'd have a good rapport,
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of these people weren't like that. They were very much like, why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? Why aren't you here? Why can't you be here? And it was very much a one-way street. Well, I mean, that's no, I can't really say it's a one-way street, because I mean I was getting paid to do the work, but money aside, you think to yourself like you just felt underappreciated. Like not the fact that you sat in 2 hours traffic getting to their house in the morning to be there for 15 minutes to clean their tank. Like none of that came into consideration. It was like, why are you 5 minutes late? And it's, I've been sitting in traffic for 2.5 hours, like that's why I'm 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
And that was the general attitude of the whole thing. The people, like the ones where I could go to and I could, like I had one at a orthodontic studio, for example, and I'd go there in the morning, first thing before anyone was there. I had the keys, I could let myself in, come and go as I pleased. Didn't hear boo from him. The only time I heard anything from him was when he was asking me if he could have more fish and more coral. That was about it. Those ones were good, but it was the ones that, just you didn't feel appreciated. And I was in their house for 10 years, straight up, and it just became. It felt to me like I was chasing money more than. I don't want to say happiness, because that's not what it was. It felt like a drag. It just felt like, like you'd wake up and you'd be like, well, I don't want to do this. And like, I was joking around before when you say, you get wet first thing in the morning and you're freezing. Like it's little things like that start wearing on you over time. Like you just think, oh, I have to deal with this person. I'm soaking wet. And, you do get to that point in your time where I found myself whinging a lot, and it's not a good thing. Nobody wants to hear you whinge, and it's I guess it's like a negative thing, like if you sit there and you whinge about it, then it's a negative, and you sort of got to break into the mindset of like, how am I going to change that, or why am I whinging about it? Like, I had good money, I worked for myself, but in a sense, I had 30 or 40 bosses. You know, every one of my clients was my boss. You know? So, yeah, I'm working for myself, but I don't have the freedom to have a day off. You know, like it's just little things like the you know, they live in these multi-million-dollar houses, and you can't stop algae growing in a fish tank. So if there's algae on the glass, you've got to be there to clean it. So that means you can't have a holiday, because who's going to clean the algae off for them? You know, and they can't have that in their house, man. You know, like they can't have a dirty fish tank with their multi-million-dollar friends coming over. You know, so it's all the little things like that. Like it built up, and like I said, I found myself being one of those people that was just whinging a lot about, you know, why can't I get a day off? Why can't this? Or, you know, why do I have to sit in traffic? And it's not healthy, man. It's not a healthy way to be. It's, you know, it's you can't even justify it with the money, because that's not, you know, I think I said to you last time, it's pointless having a bank account with, you know, 200,000 in it if you're working 7 days a week. You know, you know, what are you spending it on? So, I mean, that for me was a big thing, and a big realization. I mean, I think I was in the twilight period for a while where I was like, man, I've got this business and it's going really, really well, and I'm making all this money, and I'm supporting my family, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and it's great. And that's all I was focused on was I guess trying to be a success in the eyes of other people, not in myself. You know, like, I want this person to look at me like, oh, that guy's got a business, he's successful, his wife doesn't have to work, you know. And it's, at the end of the day, that's fantastic. Like, that's a brilliant thing, but you'll burn out so quick if you continue on with that mindset, you know. Like, and that's what I was getting at. It was hard, man. And tattooing for me, it's a break, man. It's like everybody says thank you. We get paid well. It's you're sitting in a room with 10 of your mates, listening to cool tunes on the radio while you're drawing on someone talking shit. Like, you know, nobody has these expectations of you to be prim and proper because you're in a multi-million-dollar house. You know, like, you can wear a beanie on your head, be covered in tattoos, and have a gold grill in your mouth, man, and people won't bat an eyelid at it, you know. It's for me, that was a better lifestyle, like a way better lifestyle. It wasn't about the money, because truth be told, I lost a lot of money doing my apprenticeship and stuff like that. It was more the fact that it was set hours, working on people that I wanted to work on, doing what I wanted to do, and getting paid well for it. Like, and that's really what got me excited. It still makes me excited to think that that's what I've got. That's my job. My job's hanging out with mates and drawing on people, like, sweet as, you know. So that's really what got me going was the dream, I guess, man. Like, it's, you know, everybody, it's that saying, man, you know, you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life. And I guess that's what everybody strives towards that, but I think life gets in the way a lot of the time, you know? So
for sure.
Yeah, but I think that's what it was for me, man. I could see myself being this, like I just like, you know, it was funny. I used to, once upon a time, I probably still do, bro, to be honest, but I used to write these massive rants on Facebook, and they would stem from personal experiences, like, you know, like, for one, like, and I remember these two ladies. I remember these two ladies talking about, they were in the house, like this, like, no shit, bro. It's like a $12 million house. And they were talking to each other about how they were going to lose weight. And, like, they were talking, I'm going to get my ass frozen and all of this stuff, right? And they're sitting there having this conversation while they're eating freaking cakes and biscuits and shit from morning tea. And I was just thinking, like I was standing there just thinking to myself, like, it's like watching two buttholes fart at each other. Like, it was just like, right? Like, it just the shit that was coming out of their mouths, and like, but it wasn't even. They were just so caught up in their own little bubbles, and like, I remember just writing these big rants, and like, I would half write them. I'm not the most serious person at the best of times, bro. Like, in fact, if I'm serious, something's gone very wrong, right? But I remember writing these things, and I'd read them back, and I think people must think that I'm serious sometimes when I say this, and that must be like a real, like it just seemed like I was miserable, man. You know, when really I kind of wasn't, but that's the way it was coming off, if that makes sense. You know, like it was a sarcastic. Yeah. It was sarcastic, but it was it was sarcastic, but it was there was something behind it. But how I was portraying it, it just made me seem miserable, and I kind of didn't like that in the end. Like, I like having a rant, and I like going on, you know, and I like making people laugh, but it almost seemed like it was like a glass half empty type of attitude, you know. And
yeah.
I kind of didn't like it. It kind of didn't gel well with me after a while, you know. So yeah, that was basically it.
But it's funny though. You see those kind of people who are just constantly upset, like who always finds the negative in anything that they do, instead of trying to look the other way. So look, there's always someone out there who's way worse off, or you know, try and be grateful for the good things you have.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, I sort of like, I think the reason why I resonated so much with what you said last time is because, again, I'm sort of in the same industry, you know, where there is so much shit kicking around, you know, there's so many expectations, and you just, at the end of the day, you're just a tool to get from A to B, you know, like for someone to utilize you to get to the end goal. And, you know, the appreciation is pretty much non-existent. It's all about, you know, sort of getting to the hard facts rather than any of the sort of softer values, you know, personal relationships and appreciations and all that. And since I've been doing this, which has obviously been a huge learning curve for me, you know, trying to sort of sit and have a conversation with people through a webcam, it's just been like you speak to so many nice people that have so many interesting stories, and everybody's just, you know, grateful. They are appreciative and interesting, you know. So for me, it's been like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is really like, it's something like it gets you like a bit of a personal fulfillment almost. Like, you feel like you are accomplishing something. You're doing something good for other people as well. And I was about to say, it's like the only thing that just baffles me is just that obviously, especially when you are talking about music and a lot of artists in general, is the fact is that it's so difficult for them to make money. It's so difficult to actually build a living.
I was to say that to you too. Like, I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like, where, you know, what you're doing with the real estate side, not the real estate, but the housing side of things. It is very much like what I had to do with the fish tank side of things, because it was, you know, you can't go into a person's house in your thongs and t-shirt and your 9-inch nail, you know, you've got to put the effort in, and it's one of those things like where I found myself not being true to myself. Like, it was very much like, I get people say to me like, it could be just random stuff, and I would feel that I had to agree with them because they were worth something to me. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I'd think, oh, you know, these guys are worth $450 a month, so I better not piss them off and have a different opinion. You know, like, and I found myself being very like, I don't know, like not true to myself, you know, like agreeing with them even if I didn't agree with it, you know, like purely because I was like, no, I've got to keep this facade up, you know, and it's tiring, man. It's tiring, you know, like it's, you know, you think to yourself, like, these people don't even know who I am, you know, like they know this thing that I'm trying to portray, and they don't even know who I am, you know. So I feel you, man. Like, I feel you. Like, it's because I think that would be very much, it's a customer service based business, you know, like, and I think
it is, yeah,
you know, and it might not be a front, you know, but you might have the worst day in the world, you know, but you've still got to go there with a smile on your face, you know, like, and be all happy and everything like that. And sometimes you just don't want to have a smile on your face, man, you know, like sometimes you just want to be a grumpy asshole and, you know, like, you know, have your moment, you know. But it's tough, man. And I found myself not liking that after a while, you know. And I think, like you say, with this like video chats and podcasting thing that you got going, I think it is cool because you're talking to people that are on the same level, you know, like that have a passion for something, you know, like that really want to do well in their craft. And, you know, you can talk. I find the best conversations are ones where you're talking with a person about something that they're passionate about, you know, because you get the most out of them, you know, and you can tell if they're passionate, they'll bring it forward, man, you know. And I think it's, you know, back to music, it's hard because a lot, you know, I'm lucky that I have a job that pays me well for what I do, you know. But if my passion was music, man, like, I mean, you know, there's so many people struggling with it, you know. And I think it's like I said to you last time, like, I've seen people doing this music thing for years, bro. Like, and there's just no payoff for them, you know. Like, it's becoming easier. It is becoming easier to sort of get your stuff out there and make a bit of money. But I think even like Mel said the other day, like, what are they getting paid per listen on Spotify? Like, what is it, like?
Oh, it's not even worth mentioning. Yeah,
crazy, man. You know, and it's tough, man. The music game is tough. You know, like it's struggling artist, man. I mean, that's the title. You know, like I think, you know, what I do is probably one of the only things that an artist can do to actually make money. You know, like it's hard. You know, so.
But again, I was about to say, I reckon there must be some way of coming up with something that would work. Like I said, I've tried. I think about it all the time at the moment because obviously now I've thrown myself out there. You know, I'm trying to do some consistent content and talking to people, and I'm like, there must be some way of building up some sort of framework where you have a good handful of people that are all connected, you know, that has some sort of base, a foundation where everybody can sort of help each other out, you know, the whole paid forward kind of thing. Because there has to be some kind of solution for people to be able to make it just a certain extent.
Yeah, it's funny, like just getting back to the fish tank side of things, man. I had a guy that used to work the northern suburbs, and he was really busy, man. Like he was exceptional at what he did, bro. So he had the customer base wrapped up in the north, and you know, I had a really good relationship with him where he would, if somebody rang him to say, oh, hey, you know, I'm in wherever, somewhere south of the river, I need my fish tank cleaned. He wouldn't go and do it. It wasn't worth his time to go and do it. So he would refer them on to me. So it was and you know, again, I would do the same. If I had someone up in Jindalee or north of Joondalup, like I'm not travelling up there for, you know, $50 and it's going to take me 3 hours and, you know,
half the day.
Yeah, you know, and so I used to refer them to him, and it was you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of deal, and that it worked well, you know, like it worked well. We didn't do a lot of business together like that sort of way, but it was a way that rather than just hanging up the phone saying, oh, nah, I can't do it, I'm not going to get the time to get out there and hang it up, you know, it was a way to push that extra income onto somebody else that you knew could do a good job and everything like that. So I think there's definitely got to be something out there, man, for the music industry or something like that, like it's just as an example, like I've just started looking into like basketball cards and trading cards as like an investment type thing. And there's two ways to do it, I think, which are making money. And I mean, I'm a complete and utter novice with this, so this could be absolute bullshit what I'm about to say. Right? But it seems to me like there's a few different places out there now where they're doing what's called box breaks. So they'll buy a box of basketball cards for $500 and they'll issue somebody, like they'll have a random selector and everybody will get a team out of the NBA. So there might, I can't even tell you how many teams there are in the NBA, but let's say there's 30, right? Everybody will have a buy-in price at, let's say, $50 buy-in for this box break. Whatever comes out of the box from that team, if you're assigned that team, you get it. So if it's a good card, the best card in the world that's worth $1 million, you get it. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you don't get any cards out of that box, you get nothing. So your $50 is wasted. But the box only costs $500, and this guy's selling 30 places at $50 each. So he's making $1,000 every time that box gets open. He might be losing $1,000 worth of cards, but he's also, that's money in the bank. You know, he's making good money on just opening up a box, and just assigning random people random cards. And I think that's a smart way. I think that's a guaranteed way for him to be in the trade. And I guess it relates back to the whole coral and fish thing I was saying before. He gets to open all these boxes and go, oh, holy shit, I got this card. Gets all the excitement and all the adrenaline of getting this great card that might be worth $1,500. He doesn't get to keep it, but at the end of the day, he's got $1,000 solid income from all these people that have tried this lottery to win these cards. And I think so that's really smart. Like he could sell boxes for $500. But why sell them for $500 when you can sell them for $1,500 by getting everybody involved? And it's like, I just thought like that got the wheels turning for me, man. I was like, that's smart. There's ways to do it because not everyone can afford $500, but a lot of people can afford $50 to buy in at a chance to maybe make $550 on getting a sick card. So. I don't know. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way in that music industry where you can make money by doing that, and not. I don't know. Like I guess some would say that it's exploitation or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, if people are there and they're willing to pay for it, like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Yeah, but I suppose say the thing that really gets me about music is at the moment, and probably for an extremely long time, you'll have musicians and people in the entertainment industry sitting at home. Because I reckon that's going to be one of the last industries to open up. Imagine having to go to massive concerts.
Yeah.
Unless you got a vaccine, unless you got an absolute completely eradicated. But then again, as long as you still have borders open, you have people traveling in. You still have the potential of getting another wave. Yeah. But everybody, especially the big touring bands, they would all be sitting at home at the moment.
Yeah.
They'd be sitting at home opening baseball cards.
Yeah, well, that's right.
So it's like how, and I'm sure most of them will be fine because let's be honest, they all they all have million. They're the ones sitting with their fish tanks and their $12 million homes and all that. But all the smaller artists, like the ones that are heavily relying on having to go on this summer European tour, North American tour, to make money to pay the bills and sell merchandise and stuff. They are all at home now.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, like how can they sustain an income without sort of having to fully 100% rely on online sales?
Yeah. Tough, man. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where you need to build up a following enough that you could be all right with Spotify downloads and merch sales, you know, like things like that. Or I don't know.
That's huge. But that you need millions and millions of streams.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to live, you definitely do need a lot of people, you know. But yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, honestly. Like, it's, you know, I've thought about this as well. Like, I mean, you know, like how do you make anything out of music? You know, like you know, if it's like you guys where you've got that regular gig every Friday night or every second Friday, like, you know, you're making something, but you really need that every other night, not once a fortnight or once a week. You know, it's really got to be every other night to start making it worthwhile. You know, and then you know, I guess you then run into not the argument, but the situation of like, what if you become yesterday's news? You know, like what if they get sick of the same band playing in the same venue every other night, you know, and they get somebody else? Like, then what do you do? You know, like it's tough, man. It's tough. I think, like I said the first time I spoke to you, man, like I envy those people that have got that passion, man, because it's to keep getting kicked in the guts over and over and over again, and like, you know, making $60, $70, $100, whatever it is a night, and I mean, that's not even enough to live on. You can barely buy, you know, your mate's Maccas with that, you know, like it's tough, you know. You can't get through the week on $100. So yeah, But at
the same time, it strikes me also. Let's get one thing straight. I don't think anyone who goes into music goes in it because they want to play the pub every Saturday night. Because that again, like, yeah, we had a couple of residencies and, you know, playing, you know, a lot of pubs here and there. But you know, you feel like a musical prostitute. Like, you go and like you literally sell yourself for money by playing stuff that people want to hear. So they pay you to pay the stuff that they want to hear. Yeah. But again, if you are an artist, you know, I'm assuming in your trade it would be the same. If you had to do the same tribal full sleeve every day, you know, you'd get bored pretty quickly. Yeah. You know, for us to sit there and play Wonderwall and Kazan, you know, every Friday night, you know, it gets you know, boring. Yeah. But for you to create something, to have that sort of unique song, you know, like your passion that you put out there. I just keep thinking back on like imagine back in the day, like Metallica would have had to have a date, stocking shelf at the local supermarket or something.
9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly, and sleep in the back of a van when they go on tour. But they still kept going. I understand times are very different back then. Yeah. But it's just like, what does it take in this day and age? It's just something that I keep. It's just been stuck with me, because they would have to, like, people out there, as you said yourself, they get kicked in the guts every day, but they keep going because of the love, you know, the art form.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, man. It's that. I guess for me as well. I guess for every artist, it's like, you know, be it music, be it tattoos, be it painting, whatever. Like, I think the excitement of what's next is a big thing. You know, like, you know, what I've done today is sick, but what's tomorrow going to bring? You know, like, is that going to be even better? You know, like, and I think it's the anticipation of always one-upping yourself, like, that keeps me interested. Like, you know, like, I guess for a musician, you know, you could relate it to, like, you know, I've written this sick riff, you know, like, you know, like, imagine, like, I don't know, like, you've written this hell sick riff and you're like, man, that's got some potential, you know, and then the next day you build on it and it becomes even bigger, and then the next day you give it to your drummer and he puts a drum track over it, and then the bass player comes in, or whatever order it's in, like, and then the next day is always something better and bigger, and then you finish it and you're like, that was sick, now what can we do, you know? And I think that's the artist mentality. I think that's like always wanting to create something not better, but equal to, or something that gets you as stoked as what the last bit got you as stoked as, you know, like, which I think, you know, I think that's where the passion lies, you know, like, I think that's why, you know, getting kicked in the guts for, you know, for doing the same thing over and over again and not getting any money or making any living off it, I think that's where the passion is. I think the passion's not with the money. I think the passion's with the actual art form itself, you know. So I guess that's where, I guess that relates to all artists, man. You know, I think that's where probably everybody gets it from. Just the what's next, you know, like, or the excitement of like writing something cool. Like, I remember once, man, like, I wrote this little thing on a keyboard, and like it was just a riff, but it was like this hell skanking ska riff, right? And I was like, that's sick, man. I'm going to put like guitars over that. And then like I wrote this little guitar thing, and I was stoked on it, man, for so long. And then like it was, I guess that's kind of what sparked my interest, was like, man, like that was cool little riff. And to be honest, it was probably rubbish, but it just, in my head, I was like, man, that's sick, you know. And then like it's just what can I do to build on that? And I don't know, just occupies your mind and keeps you excited. And yeah, I think that's why people do what they, you know, in the art field anyway. I think that's why they do what they do, you know. Or people that are passionate about it, you know, I think that's why they go back. I mean, it's probably the same as like anything, like an NBA player, you know, like scores 50 points and then thinks like, well, that was cool, but maybe next time I could score 52, you know. Like, and I think that's what keeps people interested long term, is the, you know, there's a reason that personal bests exist, because people are always trying to beat their personal best, you know. And I think music, tattooing, sports, whatever, I think it's all relative. That's what people are striving for, you know. And I think that's what keeps people in doing what they do.
So how's it, like, how can you excel, or how can you do another PB in tattooing in your art form?
I think it depends on how you see yourself. I think, like, for me, because I do everything, like every sort of style, I think, like, I look at black and grey artists and I'm like, man, that is so tight. Like, that is so good, you know, like what they've done. And I just think to myself, like, not in a negative way, but I just think like, wow, you know, like, look at the depth that has. And for me, I'm like, that keeps me interested. That's like, man, one day I'll be able to do that, you know, or one day that's what I really want to do. And then it goes for traditional tattoos. Say, for example, like, you know, man, look how thick that line is and how crisp it is, and like the peppering on all the shading, like, that's sick. Like, that's what I want to do, you know. And then that keeps me interested, you know. And I think it's a changing climate though too, you know. Like, it's one minute I'm looking at nothing but cartoons and new school and trying to be the next big cartoon new school artist, and the next minute I'm get a bit bored of doing that sort of stuff, so I try and improve on something else. So I think for me, it's like I said, I always look forward to it because it always brings me something different, you know. Like, it's not like, I don't have to stick with one thing and be known as that guy that only does that, you know. And yeah, I think that's really what keeps me motivated. But you know, it'd be the same for you, man. You know, like, I mean, you would obviously listen to drummers that you love, you know, and you'd be like, man, listen to that roll, or, you know, listen to how he, I don't know drum talk, man, but, you know, listen to how he like rolls on hi-hats onto the freaking floor tom, man, or like, you know, like, stuff like that. And that, it's probably exactly the same for you, man, like, where you'd sit there and you'd be like, that's insane, listen to like those triples or whatever, you know. And it's like, I think it's exactly the same for me, and I think it's exactly the same across most artistic sort of fields, you know. Like, because I mean, now I look at painters, man, and, you know, I just think, fuck, like, I wish I had the time or the patience as well to sit down for, you know, what, 50, 60, 70, 100 hours and paint this wicked painting. But, you know, I don't have that time, but I still have that, like that little voice in the back of my head that says, man, like, you could do that. Just if you wanted to do it and you wanted to sit down and do it, you could do that. You could learn to do that. And then for me, that, I don't know, it almost sparks another interest. Like, look how high, look at what level this person's doing their work at. Like, man, that's where I want to be, And like I think you're always trying to just raise up, just go up the ranks. Okay? And it's good. It's good too working in a shop like I work at, where everybody is really good, and it's like you don't want to fall behind the pack, man. You want to stay with the pack, like, and it's really good. It's a healthy competition, like, and it's not even a competition, but it's a healthy, like, man, did you see what that dude did, or see what that guy did, or what she did, like, how sick was that? Like, man, I'm going to show them how good this bit's going to be, like, and it's, I think that's what I think drives me to be better.
Yeah.
And not even necessarily better. I guess better is not the right word, because it's, I don't know, like, I guess just different, improving what I already do. But I think if you're happy, I think if you look at something and you go, man, there's nothing more I could have done with that, like, I think you're fooling yourself. Like, I think nothing's perfect. I think you should always critique your own stuff and be like, could have done that, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's how you improve on everything, really. You've got to be realistic about critiquing yourself,
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I guess it goes for life as well, like, it's like, just getting back to how I got into it, man, like, you've got to be true to yourself. Like, there's no point killing yourself for something that you don't want to die for, like, as stupid as that sounds, but that's a good motto.
Like,
it's, I mean, I don't know.
But so how was it? So, because this is something that I've thought about often about tattooists or about people that are starting a new trade.
Yeah.
How was it to do that first one?
Oh, mate. It was horrifying. Like, I'm very much, again, I sort of came from 10 years of trying to please people. So I was very much that way inclined. Like, I was very much like, I don't want to fuck this up. Like, the first one I did on myself was horrendous, bro. Like, it was crazy, man. I was shaking like a leaf, and like, it was bad. Second one I did was on my mate Nick, and I did everything to talk him out of getting it. Like, you sure you want this, man? Like, you sure? No, we'll just do it next week. Don't worry about it. We'll do it next week. Come back next week. We'll do it. And it was
that because you didn't want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I was like, no, it's all good, man. We'll do it. We'll do it next week. Just come back. No. I don't know if I have time. I'm looking at my watch, and like, it was, And one of the other boys there said, "You doing it? You're gonna go and do it. So just do it." Like, and I was like, oh, "Fuck, all right." And looking back on it now, it was a tattoo that I couldn't have fucked up in a million years. Like, it was a black Banksy. Banksy, the graffiti artist.
Yeah.
It was a Banksy stencil, and so it was. Yeah, it was. I couldn't have fucked it up at all, even if I tried. And and it took me 5 hours to do a piece that was, like that sort of big. And like, I was terrified the whole time, man. Terrified, and it's like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I used to get really bad anxiety as well. And like, man, I was feeling like I was going to throw up and getting the hot flushes and like, sweating, and like, that was horrible, man. It was horrible. But it was so good that I was pushed into it, like, because it's, like I said, if it was just me and him there, it wouldn't have happened, but yeah, it was, taking the leap, man, is a big thing, it's sort of, it's something a lot of people I think take pretty lightly, but for me it was huge. Like, it was, like I said, man, I was losing sleep, man. Like, oh, what if it heals? Shit. Like, what if this happens and what if that happens? And like, truth be told, man, it got a little bit of an infection in it as well. So I was like, fuck, what have I done, man? Like, this is infected now. It's only my second tattoo. Can I do this? Like, is this for me? And it was nerve wracking, bro. It was a scary time, but again, I think you just got to keep pushing, man. If that's what you want to do, I think you've just got to keep pushing, like, just keep swimming, man. It's like, it only gets easier, it only gets easier. First time's the hardest time, man, and then it just gets easier and easier and easier. So, it's still nerve-wracking today, man. Like, if I get someone come in and they want a portrait, like of...
Oh, I could imagine, yeah.
I don't do personal portraits for that reason. I can do them on paper, man, like, and I could do them quite easily on paper. But skin, you can throw a bit of paper in the bin, bro. Like, skin, you can't. And, people bring in one photo of their granddad from 1947, that's in black and white. It's got more grain in it than the frickin' Weet-Bix box, and like, it's it's tough. That's all of their granddad is that one photo, and they've got years and years and years of memories in their head, of what their granddad looked like. And if you don't nail that spot on, it looks like somebody else, and that's nerve-wracking as hell, man. Like, that's why I don't do them, because I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't put that pressure on. It's, but still, I still get a lot of jobs where I'm like, holy shit, like, this is gonna be crazy, and I get really paranoid about rubbing stencils off. Like, if you're doing a big mandala that's all line work and dots and things like that, like, you rub the stencil off, man, on something that's perfectly symmetrical, you're never lining that up again. Like, it's nerve-wracking, man. But it's one of those things, if you don't do it, and I'm the biggest hypocrite for saying this, because, like, I'm one of those people that will always stand back. But if you don't do it, it's never gonna get easier. You know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna break down that anxiety that you get from doing it. So same as what you're doing here, man. Like you were saying before, like, you still get anxious when you're coming on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's probably exactly the same thing, bro. Like, it's, you've just got to get in there and do it. Like, because I bet you're not feeling anxious now, like, and that's what it is. Distraction will ease that anxiety. And I think that was a big thing for me, because, like I said, I used to suffer from anxiety pretty badly. And it drawing, tattooing, and that sort of thing was a big distraction. And I'd find that once I started doing that for 5 minutes and forgetting about anxiety, I was good. So it was kind of like a placebo cure for the anxiety as well, So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, that was big. Like, I mean, to be honest, that's kind of why I played guitar as well, was because of that. I'd sit down and I'd think about chords and I'd think about playing the guitar, and so the anxiety became an afterthought, So it was, I think that's why I kind of like tattooing as well, is because you really got to think about it. Like, it's not just as easy as, just drawing away and not having a game plan. So a lot of things you've really got to think about, and it's a good distraction from everything else, Like, anxiety is not an issue with me anymore, but when it was a good distraction, man, So yeah.
Well, that's actually almost the same story about how music got sort of back, like, music landed on my lap. Like, last year, my wife fell pregnant, going through a really, really tough time at work. And again, you had all this, like, you still had all the shit, like all the annoying clients and all the admin that you had to follow up on, all the bullshit as we were talking about before. And then at the same time, I had too much sort of happening at home. I had to do all my wife's duties, because she was bedridden. She was horrific. She just had to, like, she was throwing up and couldn't do anything. So for me, it was just like everything was just crumbling. And then all of a sudden, it was like it became an outlet to sort of like to just start writing stuff about everything that happened, and for whatever reason that has just stuck, and it's something that I've been missing that for about 5 or 6 years. I haven't written a song since I think early 2010 or something.
Yeah.
And now it's just like how can you channel that? How can you have the balance where or how can you focus enough energy on keeping that momentum? And this year has been an extremely good way of dealing with all the whole coronavirus shit that happened a couple of months ago, because I reckon when I did that first stream and I clicked start down here and you're on, you're right, you don't think about anything else because you're so oh shit, what if, and again, what if something goes wrong, what if the internet cuts out, or what if my laptop crashes? So it's like you just had all your thoughts, and then the next one, you go like, oh, I'm not going to worry about the internet because the internet is fine. And then the next one, you're going to be, my laptop is going to be fine as well. So you slowly you add that 1 or 2% confidence to it.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, look, I'm still nowhere near 100% confident. I'm getting better, but it's something that is just, it's so probably what you're talking about before about tattooing as well. It's something that becomes, oh shit, I just gotta keep going. I just gotta keep doing it because I like it, but I just gotta perfect it. So, but just out of curiosity, how many tattoos did you have to do until you were like, shit, I got this?
I'm still not shit, I got this. So it's
okay.
It's it's one of those things, man. It's tough, bro. Like it's, you do the back of a calf or you do the outside of an arm and you're always, shit, I got this. Like easy spots to tattoo, ink goes in super well. There's really not much to think about other than doing your tattoo. You get someone that comes in and they want something on their ribs. Shit, I ain't got this. It's it's one of those things, man. Like, you put a stencil on someone's ribs, and then to tattoo it, you get them to put their arm over their head, and that stencil goes from being 10 centimeters, and it's all warped, and it doesn't look anything like what you've stenciled up, but you have to trust your stencil is right. Like you've checked your stencil, you know it's right.
Yeah.
But when you're putting a line down on somebody that looks wonky as hell because it's going over, everything like that, you're always second guessing yourself, like always like, man, this looks horrible, like look at this wonky ass face that I've done, or whatever it is. And they stand up and it's fine. But the whole time you're doing it, you're like, what have I done to this person, And then like it's different areas require different things too. Like there's a spot on your arm, like right sort of here, where this side of it is the easiest bit to tattoo. As soon as it gets off that bone and goes into that ditch, it's so hard to put ink in there, and it's literally 5 mil difference in placement, and it's
wow.
It's tough, and it's all these little bits and pieces where you're like, when you're doing a line across there, for example, and it's going in perfect around here, and then it goes to here, and you wipe away, and there's nothing there. You're like, fuck, like what have I done? That's
crazy.
Yeah, like you're like, why is there no ink there? Like, like what have I done? Like, and it's all that's when all the mental games start happening. Like, is my machine fucked? Like, have I not stretched the skin enough? Is there not enough ink? Like, and it's all the mental sort of. So it's very much like I go into things pretty confident. Like, put it this way, if I don't think I can do it, I won't do it. Like there's styles and things that I don't do because I just can't draw them, man. So I'm always confident enough. If I say yes to a job, I'm always confident enough that I can do it. But, like it's some spots are tough, like girls that get the sternum tattoos in between their boobs, like, there's so much, everybody's like, oh man, you're so lucky you get to tattoo girls' boobs and all this. Like, and you would take an 18-year-old fat dude over the perfect looking chick doing a boob tattoo, because it's such a shit spot to tattoo. It hurts. You're constantly leaning on their chest, so your arms are always moving up and down as they're breathing, you know, and it's like you're leaning over them, and like, are you crushing them? Because they're like this 10-pound little girl, like, you know, and you're like, am I hurting you? Am I crushing you? Like, you know, can you hold your breath so you're not breathing? Like, and it's, you know, it's hard. It's really hard. And again, you're always thinking like, you know, the stencil goes on when they're standing upright. Then when they lay down and everything moves, you're like, man, like, you know, like, what's going on? So it's, you know, you've got to go in. You got to go in confident, but there's still always questions, man. Like, you know, like I said, you'll see a wonky ass stencil because they've stretched it all in a different angle, and you're like, holy shit, that's not what it's supposed to be, eh? You know, and like they stand up and it's perfect, and you know, then all the relief comes back in. But you're sitting there for 5 hours going, man, like, look at this face. This is the ugliest face I've ever done. Like, you know, and they stand up and it's the best face you've ever done. So always that doubt, man. There's always there's never never really the shit, I got this attitude. It's always the, like, this will turn out sick. Just give me 5 hours to make it sick, you know, like, so.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, again, it's like I usually try and reflect on when I started looking at my own experience. Like when I first started this whole house designing gigs, you know, I was the same. Like the first couple of homes I did was completely wonky as well. And then again, you know, you start, like, you learn, like, you look, okay, I need to make this bedroom bigger, and everything has to be a proportion, and, you know, this goes there and flows well and stuff. And then I just remembered after, I think, about a year or so, I was like, shit, now I speak this language. I know how things work. I know how it does. And then from there on, it becomes easier. And you obviously, like, your learning curve is flattened heaps, because, you know, you suck in all the information to begin with, and you learn every day like 10 times as quick. And then once you know it, it's because, okay, cool. Hey, that's a cool little detail. I'll put that in. I'll put that in the memory bank. But then you're almost like you're on autopilot. Like, you just know this. And I'm assuming it'll probably going to be sort of similar being in your shoes as well. Like if somebody comes in and said, look, I love this style. I'd like to have this and this, that. Yep, sweet, too easy. You know, I can do that, you know, blindfolded almost.
Yeah.
So how long roughly did that take for you from when you started, and obviously doing your first mace tattoo that took 5 hours and healed poorly, and it was a little black stencil, till the next one that was probably a little less daunting, or the third one, the fourth one and stuff? How long did that take to get to that level?
I don't really know, man. Like, it's tough. It's I guess for me, it's, I don't know. I still don't think that I'm there. I still don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I still don't think that I'm like. I don't know. It might come from the fact that I don't do one style. You know, that I try and do all styles, but I don't ever. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't think I'm there. I don't think I'm at that point of where, you know, I look at something and I think it's easy, you know, like, don't get me wrong. There's some things that you do which are easy. Like, you know, everybody can do, a black stencil of something, you know.
Write a name or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But even like, I'll tell you a story. When I was an apprentice, I did a name on a chick's collarbone here, and it was the first script tattoo that I've ever done. It was her kid's name or something like that, and I put this stencil on and whatever, and it was lined up and everything was good. And I was using a 3-liner, which is a really thin liner. It only has 3 needles in it. And the only other time I'd ever used a liner that thin was when I was doing pig skins, and I did some scales on a koi in the 3-liner, and I remember looking at it thinking, man, that's so shit, because the line's so thin, you see every little wobble in it. Like a big thick line will always look a lot crisper than a thin little line, because a thin little line, you notice every little shake, every little pimple on the skin that you go over, and it makes your line a little wonky. You'll see all of that. Anyway, I was doing this script, and she kept moving her shoulder like this, and of course I'm leaning on her shoulder, and so every time she's moving it's pushing my needle in a different direction, and like she left, and it looked like a 3-year-old kid had done this tattoo, right? Not even exaggerating, man. Like, it was fucking horrendous, right? And I just said, look, like I said to her halfway through, I said, you've got to try and stop moving. And she's like, I'm not even aware that I'm moving. And she wasn't even aware she was moving. It was just her body reacting to the needle, like to the pain. And so, like, I tried changing angles, and like I said, when you're doing it on this side, of somebody's chest, it's hard to go on the other side because you're almost touching faces, and that's like, it's not comfortable for anyone. Mm-hmm. And I remember her leaving, and no shit, man, I didn't do another script tattoo for probably 2 years because I was scared to death of doing them, because I was just like, yeah. And to be honest, script is the easiest thing you can do, but it rocked me, man, because I was just like, that's fucked. Like, that's so fucked. And like, in my head, I was just thinking, I can't do that. If somebody wants some real fine line shit and they move like that, it's just going to be as fucked as that. And like, yeah, it was, yeah. So
what happened after that? Like, did you get a cover up, or did you come back to get it touched up?
I never saw her again, bro, which is completely fair enough, because I wouldn't have gone back either. But, yeah, never saw her again, and hopefully she got someone to cover it up or fix it up, because it was fucking ratchet, eh? But it's things like that which always make me scared and a bit apprehensive. Like, it's one of those things where you never look at something that's simple and you go, I got it, man, I got it, because something will throw you a curveball and you'll be in up to your neck and not being able to swim. So I think you just always, I mean, it's like, I guess it would relate to you, like you're playing a gig and you lose a drumstick and you haven't got a backup one, so what do? Play with one drumstick, like, yeah,
you play with one, and but you can only do that for so long and for so many songs, you know what I mean? So
but it's the same thing, it's like, for me, it really scared me, man. It really put me off, and it just gets back to the whole anxiety thing, like that really, that rocked me, man, because it's just constantly, that's all I was thinking about, like, fuck, like, that was so bad, like, why was it so bad? Maybe I should have done it with a bigger liner. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. And I didn't do probably the easiest tattooing for 2 years after that, which is script tattooing. You follow a stencil, and it's script is easy money, bro. It's 10 minutes and they're out the door, and it's I didn't do it for 2 years because I didn't want to fuck it up. So it was hard. So I still think a lot of the time, especially if I'm doing things like faces, like a lot of people are getting like girls' faces with clown makeup on, or the Day of the Dead girls and stuff like that. Like, you've still got to make them pretty, like, and it's a nose. You start a nose one side of your stencil where it's supposed to be the other side of the stencil. All of a sudden, you've turned this chick that had a real petite little nose into somebody that's got a busted ass nose. Looks like, someone that's, I don't know, been in a fight, So it's tough. I still don't think that I go into any, I'm going to say, real tattoo, like big tattoo, other than like infinity symbols and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I go into any big tattoo, with really thinking like, like just running through the paces, because it's always something that, like I said, will throw you a curveball. There's skin issues. There's, they could bleed a lot, and it wants to push all the ink out, so you're constantly re-going over it, and then are you going over it too much? Is it going to scab up and all fall out anyway? So it's, there's a lot of factors to really get by before you sort of, I don't know. yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm there. I don't think I'm there.
Yeah. So in regards to sort of pushing your comfort zones a little bit, after you were on last time, we spoke about maybe if you should do a bit of a podcast or a live stream or something.
Yeah.
Have you given that any more consideration?
I have, but again, it's for me. It's like probably what I've told you in messages. Like I don't have the knowledge. I don't have.
Neither did I when I started.
Yeah, I know. Like, I just don't have, like, I don't know. Like, I think what I would want to do if I did a podcast is something real stupid and funny and, like, just budget, man. Like, just super low end, like, like just absolutely, like, where people were watching it being like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I think that'd be right up my alley. But in saying that too, I think I'd want to have some decent, like, production as well. Like, kind of, like, I like what you've got, man. I like that cover. I like the little scrolling, things down the bottom, the flicking up to different pages and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. And then I think too, like, what if when I go back to work, I just don't have the time, and then it just falls by the wayside, like, and it's not that, because I get it, I would have to say, like, I would probably feel a little bit let down if it did, like, if it got up and running and, like, people were like, man, this is funny as hell, and, like, because, man, me and some of my mates have got some great stories to tell, man, and, like, just people that work with me know, because they've heard these stories about 75 times each, right? But they, like, I think it would be funny. I think people would enjoy it, but I think I wouldn't want to start it and then be like, no, I haven't got time, and then just end it. Like, I don't know if I've ever told you, I've got an ice cream review page on Facebook, right, where I used to go and review ice cream. Right, and I used to be fully into it, man. Like, I used to be like, man, I've got to go get an ice cream, I've got to review it and stuff, and they'd have these big, long-winded reviews of these ice creams and stuff. And
is that still online, or?
Yeah, it's called an Idiot's Guide to Creaming. Yeah, see if you can find it. Yeah, and it was just dumb, bro. It was just right up my alley. It was just absolute dumb shit, right? But it was I kind of felt like a little bit, I don't know, like I cheated people when I stopped writing reviews. I was like, oh man, because I get the same people commenting like, man, this is gold, or this is fantastic, and then you feel like you kind of skunk them a bit when you stop doing it. So I don't know whether.
I know.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know if I could commit long term to it. I liked what you said though. Like, maybe like one going in the studio or something like that, where everybody could get involved. But yeah, I don't know. I thought about doing some just doing some dumb shit, like just days in the life of, and like just. Because some of the shit my kids do, man, like, no shit, that's gold, man. That's entertainment. But, like, yeah, I just thought, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm scrolling through your ice page now. Yeah. This is gold, man. This is funny.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that would be what like, I've thought about it, man, and I thought, like, maybe I could do, like, a multi-platform show, like, where like, one week we were doing ice cream reviews, like, live ice cream reviews or something, like, like my card mate that opens up the boxes, maybe we could open up ice creams and, like, eat ice creams and be like, oh, this tastes like, the devil's juice or whatever, like, and then maybe we could do, like, I don't know, like, how much fast food can you eat before you throw up, or, like, like, I don't know, like, just dumb stuff, man. The people expect me to do dumb stuff, and I'm happy with that, but I still wouldn't want to let people down if I had to pull the pin, because working takes a lot of time, man. Like, it's it's a nighttime thing. So,
but the thing is, like the fun thing about this live stream is that, you know, once it's set up, you know, it's plug and play, you know, like, and as we discussed before as well, so that probably about sort of 20 minutes to half an hour before I know I got to go in here, I start to get a little bit, you know, antsy and start, you know, yelling at the kids and stuff. And then you go and like you press that start button and bang, you're on, you're rolling, countdown is on, bang, and it's game time. Yeah. But once it's done and you click off, it's done, it's there, and people can go back and watch it and stuff. So it is, and it doesn't have to be long. Like if it's just you and your mates that want to sit and, you know, take the piss and talk about ice cream or basketball cards or something. Yeah, that could be 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and people can log in and have a laugh. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like, you know, like I think, you know what it is? It's an excuse. That's what it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to sit down. I used to work, like 6 in the morning till 7 at night. This is when I was doing my tattoo apprenticeship, and I had younger kids then, so they were more dependent on parents to feed them, to bath them, to do all that. And yet I'd still find 3 to 4 hours every night to draw. You know, so it's an excuse. That's what it is. Like it's me giving myself that protection of that excuse, you know, like of not to do it. But I really should do it. Like I really should, because I reckon it'd be funny. Like
I'd be so funny. Like going through your newsfeed is cracks me up every time, man. You post so much funny shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Like it would have to be something like that. It would have to be something just dumb and off the cuff, you know. Like me and one of my mates, Al, like we used to do everything together. Like we used to hang out, we used to go to parties, we used to do everything together. And I messaged him and actually told him like I was thinking about doing it. He's like, yeah, I'd be keen to do that. But man, we had some crazy stories, bro. Like just dumb shit that we used to do when we were kids, man. Like we used to sit down at this car park at Point Perrin, eating Maccas on when there was no surf. We used to go down there to have a surf check if there was no waves. We sit there eating Maccas, and where the car park is, there's a little cliff over the edge of it. And we used to sit there for hours, man, just talking absolute shit, bro. Like, just, you know, like sitting there like, so what would you do, man, if a car came up and just butted your car off the edge of this cliff? What would you do? You know, and then we think about all these scenarios of what we do. And, like, never in a million years was it going to happen. But, like, you know, and then you'd be like, yeah, but, like, what if, like, it didn't hit your car off the edge totally, but it was just hanging off the edge, and, like, one of us had to get out, but then there was the risk of the other one dying. Like, how would we choose to go out? And, like, just dumb shit like that, bro. And, like, it kept us going for hours, man. And, like, you know, like, we used to go to parties, and this is not very good. Like, this is not very responsible, and I don't recommend this to anybody that ever watches this. But, like, we used to go to parties, and we used to see what we could steal from the parties. Like, that was the best thing we could steal, right? Right. And I remember we went to this one party, and like we were in there, and we were like, yeah, cool, whatever. He went his way and I went mine, and we ended the night, we were walking home, and he was like, what did you get, bro? And I was like, man, I got something pretty good. And I said, I don't know that you can top what I've got. And he's like, well, I bet you I can. And I was like, nah, I don't know about that, man. He's like, so what do you got? So I pulled out, like, I got all the blades from this dude's electric knife, right? And like, I had all the blades from this electric knife, and I thought that was the winner, right? And he's like, man, that's shit, bro. He's like, fuck, that's rubbish. And I was like, what did you get? And he just brings out this set of dentures, man. Like, he's nabbed the old man's. And I was like, you're fucking kidding, bro. You stole his dad's teeth. Right. And like, we ended up giving them back. Like, we ended up taking it all back, saying, man, sorry, like, we were fucking full of piss, man. We weren't thinking, like, here you go, have them back. Sorry, no hard feelings. But, you know, walking away. But, man, there was so many, like, just dumb stories like that, bro, like, which I reckon people would find hilarious, man. But, yeah, like, I think if me and him had a show, he'd be perfect, because it was just so much man, we used to just get like just mischief, you know, like not you didn't used to get in trouble or nothing like that, but it was just random mischief, you know, like just entertaining our stupid minds when we were 16, you know, like it was just crazy. So I think that'd be cool.
That's yeah. You should totally do that. And the thing is, because it's such an easy format, and if it's literally just you and your mate just sitting and talking shit, you know, you don't need fancy little roller bars down the bottom here and all that. So. But obviously, like, because when I spoke to you about it after last time, I thought you were gonna maybe do something tattoo related. And if that was the case, you could easily set something up at the shop, so you could go in and have almost like not necessarily like a Q&A, but you could go in and have a little chat about small anecdotes in regards to, you know, I just did this crazy tattoo the other day, or back in, you know, when I first, you know, you could talk about that whole thing about your mate and the stencil and you know, the boob tattoo as you were talking about before, like all those funny stories.
Yeah.
And if you did something tattoo related, yes, it would be cool to have something that doesn't look budget, but that would be so easy to set up at the shop because the shop is so illuminated. And it's and you have a very authentic backdrop because you got people tattooing. Yeah, that'd be super easy to set up, man. As I said, I'd love to give you a hand. It's so easy, man. So easy. Yeah,
I've set up into that program. I still haven't done it, but I will do it because I think even if it's just like you say, if it's just something I hit record on, and then just put it out there. If people want to watch it, they can watch it. If they don't, they don't. You know, like it's. You know, I think that'd be the easiest thing to do. Because like you say, like we could go to the studio and just talk shit. Like that's what we do best, man. So, you know, it's I think it would be good fun. I do think it would be good fun to do it, you know, like just telling stories, man, of what happened, you know, way back when and everything like that. So, but I did think about doing a tattoo one because there are a lot of tattoo people around Perth, which I really look up to, man. There's some rad artists in Perth, man. And I thought it'd be cool to interview those guys and just see what makes them tick, man. And you know,
totally,
and stuff like that, you know. But again, I sort of think too, like I wouldn't want to make it too serious, you know. Like, and I don't know.
Then don't.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of. I don't know, like I don't mind coming across as an idiot, but you know, like I wouldn't want to bring down what they do by being an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, like that. But I think that's why people would watch it for the antics, you know, and like for being a little bit left of center, you know, like. But on the flip side, I do think there's people out there with good stories to tell. You know, I mean, now that I think
it could be both. Honestly, because you could do both. Because say, for instance, like if you were going to do something nighttime related, you know, where you sit, you know, like after the kids have gone to bed, and you sit and talk shit with your old mate, like you could do that from home. But if you had something that was sort of more, you know, pro, and you had it set up at the tattoo shop, you're talking about tattoo related stuff, you know, you'd probably do it a bit more serious, especially if you are sort of trying to pick somebody's brain about, you know, bits and pieces and how they go about stuff, which is effectively what I'm trying to do here. You know, I'd love to learn from people that come on the stream, and in any way try and, you know, maybe connect dots. You know, if this person came on, shit, I had this guy on the other week. Might be awesome if you two maybe you know caught up and, you know, had like open up a messenger group, and maybe you can make some awesome music or help promoting each other's merchandise or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you did something similar to tattoo related, you know, and the thing is, by the time all this Corona crap is over and done with, you could do it in person, which makes it even easier because you don't need to sit and connect through, you know, portals and crazy Messenger and Skype and Zoom and all that.
If I had someone sit next to me and we could just do this and I was here and like they were there, you know, like
it was so much easier.
Yeah, that's my bag right there. The minimal effort and minimal know-how, you know, like that's how I think I would roll. But I think too, like it's good, like I was saying to you just before we went on, like Mel's story I thought was sick, man. Like I thought that was really good, eh? Like I really thought that was sick, you know, like someone that's just full passionate about what they do, and just even like her story and stuff was like, sorry, my low battery sign just came up there. Yeah, I just thought what she did was just sick, and like, yeah, I don't know, like that. I think getting people to do stuff like that, where you could go in, because I've tattooed some people and they've had some really cool stories, man. Like really, really full on stories, man. You know, like where you just be like, holy shit, like what the fuck is going on there? Like, I think that would be sick to get their stories out, you know. And like you say, I like playing a fool and I like being laughed at and laughed with and all that. But I just think like some of the people I've tattooed where the stories are serious, like that would be cool for them to get out there as well, you know, like, because it's interesting, you know, like it's not about any one thing. It's just about a whole bunch of random shit that's happened that's led them to this wicked life story. That's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's how their life's turned out, you know. And like that's what really resonated with Mel, because I know there was some stuff that she didn't touch on, which I'm not going to go there. It's not my business to say. But you know, like I was telling my mate Leroy, I was like, man, you got to watch this one tonight, because like this one will be good, because there's a lot of stuff that, and I only know Mel through Facebook, like just through her posts and stuff like that. But you kind of get a bit of a gauge as to what people have been through and what they kind of what makes them tick and everything like that. And that's why I really liked it, because I was just like, man, that's a good story. That's a good, you know.
It was absolutely incredible. Thanks so much, by the way, for connecting us. We've actually had a lot of really good off camera conversations about music and life in general after as well. But yeah, her talking to her that day was it was like just like so awe-inspiring, because again it was like there was just no filter. And that's again like when you do talk to people that just have that brutal honesty and don't mind sharing it, because it's like again it almost becomes therapeutic. And it was so honest. It was so it was like I felt humbled. I was sitting at the other end. I was like, I've only spoken to this person for like 2 or 3 days, you know, on Messenger prior, and we were talking about stuff we were going to chat about, and then boom, I was like, far out, and I, you know, like you just like shit, like that is so humbling.
Yeah, I was the same, man. I was like blown away, like, and I like a good story like that, like something that's got a lot of meat to it, man. You know, like it's not just like oh no, I just picked up a guitar because I was bored, and then all of a sudden I started playing music. Like, you know, I like the stories that have got that meat, and like I said, I've met a lot of people tattooing, man, that, you know, have those stories, and like I just like it leaves me at the end of the day just like, whoa, man, like whoa, like that's full on, you know, like that's holy shit, you know, like all that could happen to one person, like whoa, you know. It's I think that would make for interesting content. I think that would be really cool, you know. Whether people would want to put it out to the world or not is another story, but yeah, I just think that'd be really cool to have something like that.
But yeah, you're right. Tattoos generally, or a lot of them anyway. You're the expert here, but a lot of tattoos speak, you know, has a story behind them as well. You know, kind of the same way as, you know, when you write a song because you want to get rid of some emotions or some, you know, tragic events that has happened in your life, or some positive events that have happened. Like again, it becomes something you wanna sort of portray or make a part of your legacy. So same again, if you get a tattoo, you know, it's permanent, it's there forever. And if that is to remind you of something good or something bad or just, you know, a life event of some sort, I'm sure there'll be some crazy stories out there.
Yeah, I reckon, man. I reckon it'd be, Well, there is, bro. There's, like, I think everybody's got a story, man. It just, but I like,
people will want to tell them, for sure. For sure, man. You just got to be the gateway. You got to be the facilitator, man.
that's it. Put it out there. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely worth thinking about. That's for sure. Like I know it's going to be one of those things that I'm like, yeah, no, I'll think about that, and then nothing will ever happen, But
Yeah.
I really should do it. I really should like pull my finger out and actually do it. Like I've wanted to do something like that for ages. Like some of the shit I used to write on Facebook, like people would be all like, "Oh man, you should write a book, bro. You should write a book." And it was nothing meaningful, but it was just funny shit, bro. Like that, like getting back to my mate. Like there was a time in year 12, man, where we all had the same common locker area, and we all had combination locks on the lockers, and me and him, we got his dad to get us this fountain pen ink from his work, and we put a drop of ink on every single locker in the room. There was like 150 lockers or something in there, and then we just sat back on the tables and just watched everybody come in and just turn their lockers and just get ink all over. Like it was just dumb shit like that, man. And like he got called up to the office, like over the PA system. We were sitting in mats, and I remember him walking out, and I was saying, "Don't rat me out, bro. Don't rat me out. Like just you take the rap for it." And then the next minute, I'm called out of the office, and and I think that the only punishment we got was we got out of like a double period of science to clean all the lockers, and we were stoked, man. We were like, "This is the best thing ever." Before, just funny shit like that, bro. But yeah, I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good, just to get together and just even with the dudes from my band, like back in the day, and just talk shit for a while, like just, we had good times back then.
But that's and that's again the cool thing about it. It becomes your show. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't need to answer to anyone. No, it's kind of the same thing as if you're doing music. Like your music might not be something that some people dig or some people like, but who cares? It's your music. It's your art form. If you want to put on a little show and talk about tattoos or sitting and eating burgers on the top of a hill or stealing people's dentures, you know what I mean? Like there would be people that would want to listen. And if you at the same time want to do another one, where you get people on, where you tattoo them and they have some crazy stories, whether they are deep or meaningful or inspiring or just a fun story. Yeah, there would be people that would want to hear that too.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I think that's what's good too about your show, man. Is just that everybody's kind of got they're from a different facet of, it's predominantly music, but like you had your guy that was like who's just started the production. Was it the production company that he started, or the?
Music agency. Yeah,
agency. Sorry, yeah. Yep. Like that. Like that was good to hear that too, man. And like it's just a different perspective. And like, I mean, you can even go at it from like what you're doing now, man. Like, your view on this, like you said, how it's just bringing everybody. You're opening up gateways for different people, which is cool, man. Like it's good. It's just good to hear the different kind of components that are in it. It's not just face value like music that you hear. It's what goes into it, and it's it's everything. Like it's recording stuff, and just the local guys and what used to happen in the scene and what happens now. And I think it's good. It's good to hear all those different facets of where people are and how they sit within the industry. I think it's good.
But also but it's also the fact that everybody, like regardless of which industry, and like everybody has a story to how you've gotten to the point you're at.
Yeah.
And I think in many cases that's the interesting part. Say like, why did you do what you did, and how did you get that? And at the moment for me, it's like, how do you keep pushing? Because like I've been doing this for what is it? I think I'm on my fourth week now. And again, like as you said, like I'm nowhere near there yet. Like I want, but I want to keep going. Yeah. And the cool thing at the moment, like I've got a couple of emails today from people that just landed at home. I said, I'd love to come on your show. I said, well, awesome, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's find the time. And that.
Like, sorry, man. Sorry to cut you off. I think it's good for you too, because like I've seen your page grow in the last month quite substantially. Like,
yeah, heaps. Yeah.
Just organically, like it's not being promoted. Like through paid sponsorship or anything like that. It's just grown organically, which is good, because every guest that comes on, you're probably hitting another 20 to 30 different people. And I mean, whether they hit follow and like is another thing, but if you're on the radar, like, that's good, you know, like it's a good start, man, you know, which is good. It's been good, because I think when I liked your page, it was on about 300 and something, and I saw the other day you put like something up for the thousandth person that's
you got like 1100 or something.
Yeah, so well, there you go. There's another 100 since I saw it the other day, you know. So I think that's really good. I think it's a good way just to, you know, if you keep doing that, it's only going to grow. It's going to grow in relation to itself, man. You know, like it's not just going to grow ones and twos. You know, like it's going to grow to 1,000, and then it's going to grow to, you know, like another 100, and then it'll grow from there to 5,000. And then from 5,000 it'll get to 20,000. You know, and it's like,
let's hope, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, it happened to me, bro. It happened to me on Facebook, and I mean, at that point, man, I was doing nothing special, you know. Like it was. I ran a competition, and I think I promoted it, and it was a tag. It was a tag, 3 mates, like, and share on your page type deal.
Oh yeah, cool.
I think I hit 225,000 people with that one promotion.
Shit.
So, yeah, I mean that took me from I think maybe 2,000 likes to about 15,000 in about 3 weeks, something like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, just organically, man. Just organic, like just through that whole like, share, post type deal, you know. So, or tag, you know. So
how did that work? Because that obviously that could potentially work for a band as well. Like, tell me a bit about how we put that together.
I just offered a free day's tattooing, or a free tattoo of your choice, or whatever it was. And the deal was, you got to like my page, you got to like the post, you got to share the post, and you got to tag 3 of your mates in your post. And then, of course, all the mates that got tagged in.
Of course. Yeah, the snowball. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to win a free tattoo. They tagged 3 people. And then I ended up with quite a lot. Oh, sorry, man. There we go.
Running out of time.
Yeah, I'll have to run off and get a charger in a minute. But yeah, I think like it's snowballed from that, man. So yeah, but it was good. It just got legs, man, and just went. So, but yeah, band could definitely do the same thing, man. Like I don't know what you'd offer, but
well, that would obviously be different from band to band and all that. I mean, but yeah, it's super interesting to hear, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I got 5% battery left.
Cool. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half, so maybe it's a good time to round it up. I can see we actually have Melanie actually asked a question here. So she logged in. She said, "When are you gonna fit her in for some ink? Is there any open slots sort of post Corona?"
Oh, dude.
Are you booked out until 2022 now or something?
Nah, not that far, but I think surely it'd have to be what's after July, August.
August.
Yeah, it's probably in about August, I'd say, by the time we go back. So, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's busy, man. It's busy. It's been good though. Not many people have dropped off, which has been good. Like, had a lot more bookings come in over this time, and not a lot drop off. So, you know, it just sucks that I'm not chipping away at them, and the line's just getting longer and longer. But
yeah.
What can you do? You know, we're not allowed in, so it's not like we can do anything about it. So, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome, Steve. Let's cut it short here before you run out of battery altogether. But man, it's been hell good. It's been good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, man. You too.
And again, congrats on selling the house.
Thanks, man. Same to you.
Yeah. That's it, man. Thanks so much, Steve. Really appreciate it, and thanks for the story. And honest, man, if you need any help setting up something, man, hit me up when the studio's up and running. I'd love to come down and give you a hand. Yeah,
perfect, man. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it. Like, I'm very much you need to show me how to do it. If you tell me how to do it, it's in this ear, out there.
It's so easy, man. Super easy.
Yeah. I just need someone to sit down and show me how to do it. So, yeah, I actually have stuff for you as well that I was supposed to give you last time I saw you, but I forgot all about it. So I've got just the tattoos that I've done on your legs. I've got some big A3 prints of those if you want them. So
yeah, cool, man, for sure.
Yeah, sweet.
We'll sort that out at the same time. We're gonna set up your tattoo podcast.
Yeah,
how about
that? Sweet.
Sounds good, man. Thanks, heaps, Steve.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.